Okay, I'm gonna do the introduction. Then we're gonna start. Clap. 3, 2, 1. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Maybe I can do a quick introduction, like what are we doing now, and why are we doing now. So my name is Gary.
My name is Joyee.
I'm haziq.
Great. So maybe we can talk a little bit about ourselves. What are we doing now?
Yeah, I don't know. We look like we're hostages recording a video. Help us. Someone captured us. That's why we all in black.
Lol.
Men in Black.
Attending our funerals on Sunday morning, man.
Anyway, so maybe I can just start for myself, like brief introduction for those people who don't know us. I'm Gary, and then I also run a small initiative based in Malaysia. It's called Project XYZ.
Woohoo!
And maybe most of the people might know XYZ podcast from my project. And how about you, Joyee Lee?
Hi, everyone. My name is Joyee. I'm currently studying my master's in University of Westminster, Master of Architecture. So before this, someone might know me from my another small initiative called
Yep.
Concrete Matters. So and then right now I'm studying in London right now and meeting Haziq and Gary for the first time in real life
Very nice.
and recording this podcast. So it's very unreal actually.
It is.
Yeah, so Haziq, how about you?
Hello, I'm haziq. I'm just chilling. I don't care if you know me or not. I'm happy to be here recording with Joyee and Gary. We'll see where this goes.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have any expectations for what this is.
Initially I thought of like these projects is like a fun experiment that we can actually, talk about our daily lives, and especially in London. Like 3 of us are from Malaysia and then from different parts of Malaysia as well, and have different backgrounds. Like for example, we definitely have different work experience in different places. For example, like me, I work in Singapore for the last 3 years and in Malaysia. But right now, I'm a student at the age of 27. But like the experience is compared to Gary, and who study in Glasgow, and Haziq also study in Manchester. And then you guys have the previous education in the UK, and right now working in the UK right now.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, not just specifically in the architectural industry, somewhere around the fringe architecture. I'm not sure you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, also I guess the fact that we have all been in the UK for different periods of time.
Yeah.
So this is coming into my 4th year, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I came here in 2017.
And I came here like last year, September.
Yeah.
And
And
you?
for me, I mean, I did my master's in Glasgow 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. And then I moved into London pretty much September last year or October.
So you say like you are more like familiar with how Scotland is then, or like?
Yeah, I think so. And then
Thank you.
I thank you. So
Weave
I-
it in.
but I because personally I love to walk in the city, especially. So
Cycle.
well, my bike got stolen in Glasgow, so yes, I cycle a little here. Yeah. I think maybe to do an opening about this, because it reminds me of one thing that Haziq mentioned few days ago, after dinner, and then he was saying it was quite surreal for us to be here physically in London specifically, because
Given the history that we have actually talked so much online before, when during the lockdown, everyone's like virtually everywhere.
yeah, I mean, and apart from that, it's also the event that we ran together, which is Pam Next event last year.
Yeah, it was a year ago. Yeah,
So the last episode was last year January.
No,
February, I think. No?
I can't remember actually.
I'm sure we did one in December.
2020.
No, one in November, December, and then
Oh, yeah.
January.
Yeah,
I think it's like a consecutive
yeah,
months.
yeah.
So it ends from last year.
Yeah, January
The beginning,
2021.
yeah, the
Yeah.
beginning
So it's
of
almost a
last
year.
It's
No?
more than a year, yeah.
Okay, but it's nice because we Okay, fun fact also, 3 of us graduated from Taylor's.
Yeah.
We were for our part 1.
Tailoring.
Sponsor us.
What is that? Integrity, excellence, and something.
I don't know, ask Dr. B.
Okay, anyway.
We'll cut that out.
So, and I just thought that it must be very interesting because you work in Singapore for 3 years, and then after that you decided to study in
Yeah.
London specifically. Is there any particular reason why you?
Bored of my situation already. No lah.
I mean, you could have choose like Europe or somewhere to do your masters.
I mean, London itself is always known as a very exciting place to learn, and I always pick the city over the school, if that makes sense. Because I do also got an offer from Australia as well. I got University of Melbourne offer.
Yeah.
And like Greenwich University, but
Sorry.
I feel like
How to pronounce it?
Greenwich.
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 Sorry, mate. Then I just feel like to pick a city and then to learn from the city, the environment, I feel like you can learn more from the environment. Therefore, I think I choose London.
That's an interesting topic. What do you think of London?
What do I think? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
as
such
in like, how do you find London so far, and what's your reflection after staying here for 3 years plus now?
Yeah, I think it's an amazing city. There's always something going on. It was interesting to be here during the lockdown because it made you really question, and I think not just me, like I think it made a lot of Londoners question, why are we here?
Yeah.
Maybe not Londoners, but people who chose to be in London, because that is the draw. That's what brings people here. It's the events, it's meeting people, it's exhibitions, it's all of these things.
You went to 3 galleries to protest yesterday,
Yeah, I mean,
and cycling around.
Yeah, just to like, it's just one Saturday. You can go out, you can see as many galleries, exhibitions from all around the world.
Yeah.
I saw, a Japanese artist, a London artist.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I find what we talk about a bit over like breakfast yesterday about the protests and how like we talk about the things happening around the world, and immediately you got the information or like you see the reaction of that news immediately in London itself. So they are protesting about the war.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
front
so
of the Russian embassy.
There's people from all over the world here in London. So when something happens, and there's enough of them, so there's enough of the population, that they will, make themselves known. So when a war breaks out, for example, right now, the Russian-Ukraine crisis, and the Russian embassy is just down the road from where we are. So I just went and saw the situation. And from that, I think you can get a more nuanced understanding of what's happening, reading what people wrote on the placards or on the wall.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like being in that kind of atmosphere, you are sort of like emotional or spiritually lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I think London, it became a place where, it becomes a place where I think London is no longer London. In a way that London is a blank place for me, because given the fact that blank, it provides ambiguous answer to be filled, because it has no identity in a way. Of course, history-wise, you can talk about Roman ruins and also modern architecture and things like this. But for me, I think London is literally a melting pot. There is no such thing as Londoners, I think. Of course, people who spend years or their hometown memang from London, right? But then for me, I really think
You just think it's very diverse. Like,
it is very diverse.
Ever-changing. It has ever-changing phases.
Yeah.
But that is London. Like that.
Yeah.
That's literally.
Yes.
So that characteristic is London.
Yeah, if the moment you don't define London, that's London. To define London is not to define London. And I find it like, because personally I love cities, and I work for a year in KL, not really KL but Sentul. But I love to experience the city when it's, after night or in the early morning, like 2 or 3 o'clock. Same goes to Singapore as well. So I like cities where, while your heart is so calm but the city is still moving, or when your heart is so chaotic but the city is so quiet. So it's this kind of
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of cities, right? But I'm just wondering, like, if your hometown, like where you actually comes from, actually affect your preference of like places you want to live in. So like for example, I'm from Penang, Malaysia.
Of course.
Yay!
Of course.
Penang lang. Tiada bo.
How many minutes into the conversation?
Anyway,
What, 10 minutes?
Penang always the best. Anyway, so like Penang so I live in the island side.
Sorry.
No offense to the mainlanders, but I love you also. Anyway, so the island itself has a lot of it's both heritage and also a lot of nature.
Yeah.
So I always go to the beach around, drive around the island, go to the beach. And then even though like later stage in my life, I go to KL and study in Taylor's and also go to Singapore and work and also eventually come to London. I feel like a part of me, right, like deep down, I still wanted to stay or at least retire in somewhere very near nature, definitely not in the city. I just feel like I have that kind of longing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about you guys.
Do you imagine?
Sorry, I keep thinking, like you said, heritage and nature. And I cannot stop thinking, like, isn't nature our oldest heritage? Like, anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
Yeah. I just, but to answer your question, I mean, it's a difficult one for me because I grew up in a lot of different places. I was moving around a lot. On average in my life, like every 4 years, I moved city, which moved schools and all this stuff. So for me, actually, what I'm comfortable in is moving. Like
You like the nomadic lifestyle.
yeah, after about 4 or 5 years, I feel a bit restless, a bit itchy. Yeah. So now I've been in London for about 4 years.
So
Time to move lah.
It was getting there like last year, but then I found new experiences, a new job and everything, which kind of resets it and you see it a different way. You see the world a different way. So that helped. So I think it's just about not being stuck in one place or situation for too long.
But now I'm curious that because you were saying you're moving here and there, for example, I mean defined by the fact that like a geographical, territorial thing, like for example from KL to Dubai, for example. Yeah. But then in London, can imagine it's a whole world.
Yeah.
Then east side to west side
Exactly.
is
Exactly. That's the thing. Like this. So in my 4 years here, I've lived in south, north. Now we're in the west. I haven't explored east yet, so that's like a new, territory. And then that's only within like zone 2, which is, not far off from the city center.
Yeah.
We still have like zone 3, 4, 5, 6 to explore, and it's so different.
Okay. So I mean, haven't come to a point. Of course, you got job, and also there are things that you find very secure to stay in London, but other parts of London.
Yeah, London helps in that sense that if you do get bored, just move borough. Move east, move like wherever you are, just and then across the river as well, it's different. Like if you're north of the river, south of the river, it's different.
Yeah.
So in a way, the definition of home to you is not always a permanent location. Then.
No. Yeah.
It's always changing and transiting.
I think so. Yeah.
This reminds me of the book that I lent you. It's called Home in the World. Because that guy is actually moving here and there. He did he studied in India, and then he moved to Cambridge, went to America, things like this. So he's going here and there. That's interesting.
But what about you, Gary?
So maybe a little bit personal background. I've done my masters, and then there comes a point. Of course, I need to find a job. Before that, I was so insist and very persistent saying that I wanted to go back to Malaysia. Because I find potential in Malaysia, not just about career, and also for me to find the passion that I would like to do. Even though now there are projects and also passion that I wish to execute in Malaysia, but then I realized that internet allows me to do so much things without physically there, unless sometimes you can be there. So in the end, I decided, okay, maybe I should stay because COVID already took me 2 years of my study years, and I thought, okay, I should spend more time away from Malaysia and try to experience something different. It is very different now. So during my period of job searching, and then I do have this dilemma where do I need to find a job to secure my place to stay, or I need to secure the place to stay to secure my job?
Yeah.
The dilemma. So so I moved to Bristol for a short period of time. Then after that, I decided, okay, I must go to London because I think one of the fact is that because I was driven by all the job vacancies offered on Dizine, for example, they are all based in London. So I was thinking, okay, since I put all the nets in London, so I just thought maybe I should move to London. But then after I arrived in London, I feel like, okay, there are chances that I could ended up in Birmingham. I could ended up in down south or in Kent, somewhere, or even Manchester or Liverpool. But then in the end, I think what draws my intention to finally decide to settle down in London is because I just thought that it's a huge city, and it's a city where I think I can't find in Manchester or Liverpool. I'm yet to explore that. But then I just thought that London itself has so many mini Londons. But if I go to Glasgow, right? Glasgow don't have little Glasgows because it's small.
Glasgow itself has a very interesting history. Actually.
It is.
Yeah, because my main project right now is in Glasgow. So
Yeah.
to read into like the shipbuilding industry in the past, and then how does the industry collapse after World War II, and also how now the new wave of regeneration projects happening with all the new buildings.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, there's so much derelict buildings as well. So
Yeah.
there's a very interesting landscape to walk on when you're in Glasgow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, when you mentioned about the smaller kind of sections of the city, like I lived in Manchester for a year, and I kind of agree with you that Manchester as a whole is kind of one borough of London. So it could be like Hackney, and so it does kind of have like, Chinatown. It has the kind of hipster quarter. It has the Indian Road with all the curry, so it's called the Curry Mile.
Yeah.
But then you can find that within one borough of Hackney in London.
Yeah.
And then if you get bored of that, you can go to the borough of Camden, and within that it's something different as well. So yeah, London does have that going for it.
I think maybe I wanted to push our conversation to another topic where rather than we talk about cities, it's more like what are we going to do? I mean, part of this is actually the things that I wish to do in London, because we do have the opportunity to record this together physically. Before that, perhaps we will do it on Zoom. It's more like something personal which I wish to ask you both about what are the things that you wish to do in the next 1 year, let's say, or 6 months. I mean, this is a part of it, right? I mean, we do have other things we wish to come up with, like competition or write a book or things like this.
Time to manifest. Go on.
Yeah.
Go on,
You go
Joyee.
first. Well, to me, for the next 1 year, definitely I will still be studying.
Yeah.
And of
Definitely.
course,
Definitely.
I'm not gonna disappoint my mom. But anyway, I feel like to enjoy London though, although as simple as it sounds, because to me, I just feel like there's so much changes. I experienced so much changes since last year that I came here. So not just from a working lifestyle to a student lifestyle, the kind of mentality shift, like having got income and then become no income, and then also shifting from where I usually, because Chinese is my first language, and then here whereby you're surrounded by a group of Angmos and then they all speak very very fast.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is Angmos?
Angmos are Caucasian or British white, I don't know.
Red hair.
Wait, oh come on. Anyway, yeah. So I think in terms of that, and also about weather, how we come from like a tropical weather.
Whether or not.
Huh?
Sorry, weather. Yeah.
Weather,
Climate. Okay.
Climate, and then here in a very cold country, it just for me, I feel like not just I experience change physically and also like a lot mental as well, and we don't often give enough credits for people who actually going abroad to study or to work to live. I mean, cause it's happening so often nowadays, right? But then it actually takes so much courageous and also adaptation, adjust yourself to suit to a new lifestyle. And I find that harder when you get older. So for the next 1 year, I definitely, and so right now it's actually it's coming to the half year mark from last year I landed in the UK. So for the next 1 year, I definitely hope that I can get more well acquainted with London, know more about the inside out, the small streets, which lorong to go. And also onto the note of like competition that you just mentioned. I'm definitely interested to participate in the local festival as well as competition. Actually, one thing I realized about London City is the speed. So just now we talk about the sizes of it, right? I feel like the speed is really fast in terms of like ideas and people traversing like places. The idea last week, today is already completely obsolete already. Then it's like it just keep on changing and very fast, and then keep on throwing ideas and good things and exciting ideas keep on just throwing out. And then gallery just always have like new exhibitions, and then you just get very inspired all the time.
Is it fast as Singapore?
I don't think I lived long enough in London to actually compare to Singapore, but in terms of the number of galleries, definitely London is more. And Singapore, yes, but also I wouldn't say as diverse as London. Like you still see a good amount. I might get attacked on this, but anyway, I'm just gonna say because it's based on my experience. I do went to like events. There's this called Sunday Design Morning where they give talk as well, NUS talk, and then different galleries. But definitely wouldn't be as diverse as London, I would say.
Yeah, actually, in that if that's the case, I'm not sure what do you wanted to add in response to that. But I'm more like, because of talking about speed, I would relates to because you work in the architecture firm before that. Now you sort of change your job to something quite in a different spectrum, but even though still in the construction and industry line. How do you perceive fast or speed living in this city? Not just about exhibition or events, but rather lifestyle, where job and also perhaps your personal hobby or...
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I guess your question is, does your job affect how you experience the city and kind of your pace of life?
Yeah.
Like, I think my job itself, the pace has changed. If you're familiar with being in an architecture firm, or just, if you just think about buildings being built, it takes a long time, right? Even a small building will take 2 to 3 years from the start of the project of saying, I want to build something, not you. Well, the client would say that and then come to you. And then to the point where it starts on site, maybe a year or two later, and then another 2 years for it to be complete. That's 5 years of your life going towards one building. So it's very different. So I worked in an architecture firm for 3 years, and through that, most of it I worked on one project, and it was good. Like it was really gratifying. I saw it from concept until now it's on site, and then I left, and it's hopefully going to be built. Completed like end of this year.
It is almost there, right?
Yeah, I mean the superstructure is all up. And then now, like, I've switched to an industry where I have to keep up with what's happening in the world. I need to be in tune. I need to know all the current events and exhibitions and also the latest
in a PR
trends.
firm?
No, I haven't. But if you're smart enough, you can gather that. But anyway, so I work in a PR and communications agency.
Woo!
And for a lot of kind of clients within the built environment. And the built environment is, simply put, everything you see out there that's not nature, some human has built it. That is the built environment. So roads, buildings, churches, mosques, whatever, any of these things. And then there's a lot of players that go into that, right? So you have the architect, you have the contractor, you have the developer, you have the engineers, consultants, lawyers, all these people. And they all kind of need PR, because in the end they are all businesses. And they need a reputation. And so that's what I do now. Basically consult these firms or companies on how they should brand themselves and what's the messaging that they want to give out. So for example, like now the two hot things, which is good in a way, is just sustainability and inclusivity, diversity, and all these things. And it's good, but you do have to be kind of wary about whether it is just a PR exercise or whether they're being genuine about it. But sorry, I digress. Going back, it's all about the pace. I think it changes quite a bit.
Reminds me of the term greenwashing.
yeah, so we are very, very aware of that, especially in the PR industry, because if you do that, people are going to call you out. And that's another thing about being here in the UK in general. London may be a bit more, but UK generally, people are very vocal. If you say something they don't think is right, they'll call you out. They will tell you that's bullshit. No, you can't, like, we're smarter than that. And that's why PR is quite essential here as well, because we need to consult you that you better not say, like, you know, and if you say something, you need to be able to claim it. So all the offices, like, everyone wants to say we're the first net zero office. And, you know, first, like, how many firsts can you have? You can only have one first. So who's going to do it? Yeah. But yeah, going back, I think the pace itself, it's very, very quick. And that does make me, well, it's slowly making me kind of live London differently. I am going out to a lot more exhibitions, but also that's because I have a lot more time now. Like, architecture took up
Nice.
way too much time. But yeah,
So it's fast yet slow.
in a way. Yeah.
Interesting.
But just to add on, like, I think the past, for me anyway, like the next year or two, I think I want to do a bit more physical things and a bit more kind of tangible things in the real world.
Define physical things.
You know, like, the trend is going into the metaverse, but I kind of want to withdraw from that and be here. I want to be present, because I feel like the past 2 years we have been there. Like, the past 2 years, a lot.
We have been living in the digital realm.
Yeah, like this, we did this, but we did this online. So now I'm keen that we are able to do this in person. I want to do it in person, and I want to do more of these things in person. Yeah.
I want to do quite a leeway from here. I'm quite interested, like, how do we know each other?
Wait, you haven't answered like what you want to do in the next 2 years.
Wow, I got lots of plan. Well, I mean, architecturally, definitely, I do have plans for, you know, Project XYZ, and there are exciting projects coming in London, which I'm trying to beat now. 2 restaurants, very exciting. It's still, even though it's an ideal proposal, but I find it very, very fun, because in London you can do almost everything. Yeah, so that's quite something that I'm looking forward. Podcast, definitely. So later on I will record one more. And then looking forward to do some events, especially some teaser here. We're gonna do something with Draft Magazine on behalf of Lanai. And recently I just met a friend who we're gonna talk about business or entrepreneurship in architectural business. Personally, I would love to try triathlon.
Ooh.
It's right. You've done it before, no?
I've done it once. I think this time is gonna be different because it's cold weather. So even though in summer,
You have not done one in a cold weather.
no, I wish you come back. I mean, I really enjoy cycling in UK so far, in general or overseas. Swimming and running, that's another different thing.
On the note of sports, and especially sports competition, right? I just feel like it has so much impact, like, to a person psychologically. In a sense, it's because you prepare for it, and then when you actually, like, win it, or even though you don't win it, it just gives you a great sense of satisfaction.
Well, I mean, it's more of the point where I wish to challenge myself physically. I mean, and also somehow will relate to mentally. Like, okay, I can
I feel
do
like
that.
it gives you more confidence now. Like when you do sports, I don't know, cause last time when I do sports, I just feel like it gives you the confidence, and then you can also transfer that confidence into your daily life and also into your work.
And then recently I found out something very interesting, because I always thought that Haziq is a very low profile person, and then he don't show his confidence. Until recently, we play badminton together. I found out that this guy
Alter
really
ego. Alter ego come out, right? Kiasu, right?
Oh, come on, man! It's like,
Yeah.
but
Which
he
is
really
nice.
can play.
You
He
can
really
you
can
can
play.
channel that alter ego. Like,
Yeah, it has to come out somewhere.
when in somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's another level of unlocked.
Yeah. I mean, just on that note, I do feel it's quite strange for people who only know me on the badminton court. So there are people who
Didn't know you in real life.
they don't know
then.
me in real life. And so they think I'm this, like, really cocky, like, I don't know, really annoying, like.
Hey, Joey, pick up the ball. Hey, Gary, smash better lah, please.
No,
Hey,
he won't.
pick up.
He won't be like. I think I try to recall. I try to recall.
I remember whenever I try to serve, you'll be like, hey, Joey, we can do this, huh? Win this round, huh? Win this round. I was like,
I mean, I do that to joke, but obviously someone took it personally. That's not on me.
but I feel like R is fair in love, war, and sports.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
But
interesting.
it reminds me of like the days in high school. Don't you feel like you play sports and then in high school you play so much team sports.
Yeah.
Like you can play football in a gang, basketball,
Yeah.
handball.
Yeah.
As compared to when you go into adulthood,
Yeah.
it's mostly solo sports like
Yeah.
boxing, jogging.
It's not. I mean, yes, to an extent, but also that's also how you can make new friends. Is like there's a lot of sports clubs
Yes,
that you can just
definitely.
join.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to.
Make new friends lah.
And want to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find that the friends that you're familiar with, that you used to play with, to
Yeah.
play together anymore. So I just find that the sense of familiarity is lost.
It's a good excuse to make friends, though.
Yeah, it
because
is.
It is hard to make
Yeah.
friends as adults, and also in
Are we
London.
going to that topic? How to make friends?
And influence
Are
people.
we all introvert or extrovert here?
I'm extrovert too, by surprise.
I am.
You're freaking extrovert, man.
Actually, I think I have slowly transited to introvert, but from my 16 personality text, it's still extrovert. Haziq, you're an introvert,
Still
right?
extrovert. You're always extrovert, no?
I don't know. I just feel like at
I
some
have
point,
a theory.
Yeah,
I have a theory.
ambivert.
I know. I have a theory that
MVP.
you're becoming slightly more introvert just because of language.
Mm,
Yeah, because you're not able to express yourself.
exactly.
Oh.
And it's
Fluently.
very frustrated. I'm not sure if this is related to anyone out there. It's like,
Stare into the camera. Anyone?
so I study in a Chinese school. So
Yeah.
Chinese is definitely my first language. So being able to talk about English and also trying to moderate, trying to present, and trying to talk in a architectural professional language, I don't know. It's a challenge though.
But I guess that's why we're here as well, and that's why
Yes.
we're doing this.
That's true. Yeah.
It's very interesting because I was like, she did a dry run of her presentation, and I'm so surprised because she ran it quite well with all the concrete matter sessions, and then
That before all the concrete matter like before all the concrete matter sessions, do you believe if I were to tell you that I had dry run before that also?
I 100% believe that,
Yeah.
so meaning to say before concrete matter there is.
and I know you have a script.
I have a script and I dry run myself. Oh,
before there is cement matter.
disclosure. Yeah, I mean, Lord, that's damn lame. I mean, I just feel like if I practice more, I'll get more comfortable with it, and then
Yeah.
I will present better. So the next day after the dry run, right, it actually went better than that night. So,
What if it was in Chinese though? Do you think you still have to dry run?
I still have dry run, but I will definitely be much comfortable and more nature.
Really?
各位先生女士，我是以前
No, no, no,
讲
no.
还有司
No, it's
仪
not.
耶，我
It's
是
not.
大会司仪耶，
Subtitles.
No, no. But then I just
我以
find that.
前也是学校辩论队的队员呢。
Oh, so she was saying she was one of the debater.
Oh.
In Chinese.
Really?
Yes, I was.
But then I find
That's
it.
the topic for another
But
day.
it's different because when you present your architectural works are different. You don't talk about column, the 柱词 or
I don't lah, don't lah.
It's
解
very
剖
technical.
图。
It's very technical.
I love this group chat.
But I mean but for me, I'm not sure about you because we three of us we do talk quite a lot. I mean, but we talk in a different
English.
setting.
We always talk in English. Huh?
Yes, but then it's more of
Malaysian English.
No, it's not about the channel, it's about the mindset that you set to say something. Because I find Haziq when, in the podcast setting or event setting, I try to recall, let's say, PEMNEX event, you are the intellectual one.
Ooh.
It didn't come from me.
And then,
Sorry lah.
I'm the mediator, and then
Okay.
you are the clown.
Oh my days.
Oh my days.
It's a good. No. No. Do you remember the one we did with Shunri? And then the one about chicken, and then she was keep following up about the freaking chicken. You remember?
Yeah, I remember the chicken.
the rooster.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say clown, but maybe like just the down to earth, very like sociable,
Yeah.
charming in that way. I think I'm also charming, but in a different way.
Yeah.
But you're like the
Sorry
casual.
lah, I have the dumb blonde vibe. going on?
But it's an act, isn't it?
In it?
I just find that like a lot of times laugh and smile can actually try to convey the message.
Yeah, and
without
also it's-
actually
Yeah, and it gets people to
saying-
speak.
Yeah, and it's more casual, I find. I mean,
You don't have to like just say much or like give a directional quote and people will know actually what to speak.
and then if I can compare the 3 events, right, I think the first one is quite serious. No?
The first one was mine, or?
Yeah, the one about writing.
I don't think so.
I mean, of course, 3 of them are fun, but then it's just that one more proper, more more formal, I would say. And then the second one, of course, it went somewhere else. It went all shoots at almost quite omni directions, I find. And then the third one is like half.
Reflecting. Ooh.
Sorry, go on.
Reflecting back.
I don't remember what the first, second one, third one
The
was.
first one's about
The
like
first
a
one is about
magazine.
writing,
Okay.
And then
and the second one
And one about
phenomenology,
how-
and then the third one with
The second one was what?
Phenomenology about senses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how to experience, where I think, remember I have Xu Tiantian,
Yeah.
Shunri, and Huat Ling.
Yeah.
And then the third one is about doing architecture.
Other ways of doing architecture with Ririk, Yan, and who's the
Oh.
Hong Kong lady? You also don't remember.
Because it's your event, not ours event.
Sarah Mui. Yeah, I can't remember. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should do it again. Because I think because of the setting and also go through the certain period like where we need to find sponsorship, and also the whole thing of releasing the poster approach to people, and it's big in a sense we are actually collaborating with perhaps the most representative institute in Malaysia of architects, right? So that's the big thing lah. So somehow the whole setting is become more formal and more big, larger scale lah, rather than like this. We don't even need to plan. We
Well,
just
actually, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Whether with collaboration with PAM or not, PAM is Pertubuhan Architect Malaysia. Oh, sensitive content coming up.
It's not sensitive.
no, it's not sensitive.
I just feel like with or without them, we are still gonna do this. It's just that I feel like in a way our very own initiative has its own impacts and a
Yeah.
positive one, I'm sure. And whether it requires latching on a bigger institute like that, it's a privilege to cooperate, but I don't think we are desperate for it. I don't know how to put it in a nice way. Thank you, PR help.
We didn't, right? We didn't.
I mean, I guess what you're saying is how much did we gain from collaborating with Pam? And like initially, I think we're all adults here, so we're all gonna be
Polemic.
mature and about the conversation. No, but I think like I definitely thought that having Pam would help us get the speakers. But actually, I don't think that was the case from our experience. I think the fact that we reached out to them,
Yeah.
I mean, I think maybe it helped to say that,
this is a
like,
talk
we're
of-
doing it with Pam.
Yeah.
But actually, I think it was more our initiative.
Yeah. Because we actually invited the speakers
Yeah.
themselves, and we actually find the sponsor. You actually found the sponsorship, no? Yeah. So in a way, this could have been like some event that we can
But
organize.
it's something to learn from, and I think like it does benefit. Like with Pam, no doubt they have their own channels. They reach a certain group
Level
of
of
people.
audience.
Yeah,
Also
so
outreach, yes.
yeah, I'm not saying that it was bad.
I think it's good in the sense that through that platform we actually know a lot of people as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people know us, so that's good.
I wouldn't say it's bad or good, but it's just collaboration, seeing as it is.
Yeah.
So we've been talking for about 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes.
That is long.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Yeah.
So maybe we want to wrap this up. How do we want to do it, Mr. Moderator?
Yes.
So I just thought that because so this is gonna be kind of like a monthly catch up with our in a very casual way, because that's what I thought in a way, like because I really enjoy we talk about architecture. Sometimes I just drop by, your place, and then talk about things. And I find it very enjoyable, and I think almost... And it's something very interesting when I'm now working in London, and people, especially colleagues, they would start off their conversation after weekends or even after a day. They will ask, how's your day? How was your day? If let's say Monday, how was your weekend? So it's very interesting that we can integrate this kind of culture in a way to catch up with other people, to ask how are you doing, how were you doing.
Do we not do this in Malaysia?
Yeah.
Quite rare, isn't it? I mean, sometimes we catch up, but then...
Maybe not everyone would say how are you, would say
Yes.
hi instead.
But I think in Malaysia we tend
I think I did mention to Haziq before, like when I first came to UK, and then people were asking, everyone just said, how are you? So the answer I'm thinking, like, do you really want to know how am I? Or like I'm just gonna say not bad, that's it. Because there was a few times I just said, oh, you wanna know how am I? So I give a very elaborate answer of how my day is.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, can, and then they just shout.
Yeah.
I guess it's just in terms of culture, we don't take the word how are you as it is. So they just see it as a hi.
Yeah.
And then if they really want to know how your day, they'll ask a second time, like, how is it going?
And this happened not just at the close friend or acquaintance level, it happens at the stranger level as well. It's a good opening. I remember I was in a bus, and then someone he holds a lot of prints, and then with a dog, a freaking big dog. So he just sit next to me, and then he says, sorry, I got a big dog, and then I got the prints and everything. And then I said, it's okay. And then he start, how are you doing? And then he said, then we keep on talking, and then talks about prints. And somehow he introduced me to a picture framer in Dalston, which I thought is very nice because you somehow are invited to someone's lifestyle. And it's not something major, not like, oh, we talk about Ukraine war or something like Brexit or things like this, you know. I mean, I'm surely interested to know more, what's your opinion, but then in a more candid, more slice of life kind of conversation. And personally, I think this is the one thing that I learned, one of the best things I learned when I start working here, is that you become a better listener. Because when you ask how are you, whether you are good or not, I'm always interested to know. And then if it's good, then we can share the happiness. If you are not good, then how can I help you? So how are you is not just about like a, 客套话, how do I say? It's something very
You say it just out of courtesy.
A greeting.
Yeah.
Courtesy instead of like really meaning it.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I think I have a very different opinion about all of this. I think it's more dependent on how you receive it than how you give it. I mean, I think most people will say how are you just out of a greeting and
like a
courtesy.
hello.
Yeah, it's not that deep. The person who asked you how are you on the bus is, I mean, you guys are stuck next to each other for a trip, right? Like it's
He got no choice but to talk to you.
Yeah.
Like, these are boys.
Yeah,
Keep talking to me, not just joking.
But I agree with you. Like there are those moments in London that are very nice, and it's not just London; it's UK. But I also think it's the world. Like I think that can happen in KL.
Sure.
If there's an old grandma on a bus, like she will definitely speak to you and tell you about her day. And
Yeah, I always do that in Penang. Sorry.
How do they say how?
only Penang people are friendly.
Like no, because in Penang we speak in Hokkien.
So they don't ask how are you, they ask if you had your lunch or anything.
No. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The first question is about like, have you eaten? It's always about eaten, and have you have a lunch yet, breakfast yet, dinner yet, and then the conversation starts from there. So it's a matter of like the
It's a different version.
Conversation starter.
But I think one thing that is different here compared to like a Malaysian kind of conversation is that it tends to be a bit more narrative based and storytelling. So you can't, if they ask you how was your weekend, you can't just say I I went to the gallery. Like there needs to be a story to it.
I see.
Or I went to the gallery and I met this person, I talked to this, and then I
Yeah.
found out this, and then
But like people who first came to UK wouldn't know these nuances.
no,
Like the
and it
social
takes time
nuances.
to develop, because even now, like I struggle to come up with a story, because I'm also like, why would you care? But they're looking for like a certain thing that they can then relate to in your story, and then they will tell their story, and then it's a lot of story-based conversation, which is difficult.
Now I understand.
Then
Thanks
perhaps-
for telling because
Then perhaps no, because
Yeah.
let me guess, because perhaps your first experience of how are you sounds like you don't look good. Do you need help kind of thing, is it? Like how are you
The-
means like you don't look good, dear. How are you?
No,
It's been not a lovely day, isn't it?
no, I didn't take it as sort of in a sympathetic tone.
Alright.
They just asked me, how am I? And then because I'm not used to it, so I just replied, oh, I'm fine, not bad. And then they kind of have that startled look on their face, as if I'm gonna say something else, or like as if I didn't finish saying something, and then they'll just take it as I'm not in the mood of talking,
Exactly,
and then they
yeah.
walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
Then right now, after you explain it, now I understand. Oh, so they're expecting some kind of like narration.
It depends how.
Yeah,
it depends.
that
you have
person.
to. Yeah, you have to read
But
the situation.
most of the people will kind
No,
of.
you can't say most, because some people, like, it also changes day to day. Like you said, like if they're not in the mood to talk that day,
Yeah.
they will just walk away. And I do the same. Like if someone asks me and I'm not in the mood to say anything,
You
I
just-
just be like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. How about you? And then they'll say, yeah, good, thanks. And then we move on with our day.
see.
If I want to say something, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm good. Like over the weekend, I saw this thing. And
Yeah.
It's so much like these nuances, like small stuff in the social interaction that it's so culturally different back then. I don't know. Like for example, the other day when I was in a bar talking to my cohorts, so my tutor was drinking with us as well, and then he was asking, that Butler Unit 10 is led by CJ Lim, and then how about the other guy, Simon something,
Simon Heron.
Simon Dickens.
Oh, sorry.
Then
Simon Heron is in Greenwich. But anyway, go on.
yeah, and then it's Simon something. So he was asking, and then
Simon.
the whole group. Then everyone was like, oh yeah, I can't remember Simon was Simon. And then I just bring out my phone and then I just Google Instagram Unit 10. And then I said, oh, it's Simon Dickens. And then I show my phone to everyone. And one of the guys was like, whisper to my side, actually, you don't have to search for it. It's kind of like you know thing. Otherwise, like it's kind
Yeah,
of
I mean-
awkward.
I
I'm like,
mean-
oh okay. Then I just put it back.
Yeah, because I thought I mean, of course, in a polite term, it means like they would expect you to talk about. If you don't know, then you create a conversation. You get what I mean? So rather than you go and search for it, because for me, I think if I really don't know about certain things, I would ask rather than insta searching it. So
Yeah,
that
that-
you create a conversation for, hey, I really don't know, then can you tell me more about it? Because once you search, you got everything. You ask Google rather than you ask your friend.
I think that's the difference here as well. Like people are not on social media and the internet as much as we are
Really?
in
Yeah.
Malaysia. Yeah, no, like
Yeah.
if you have followers on Instagram more than 500, they look at you like, what are you? Like, why do you have? What are you doing?
So they focus more like on ground.
yeah,
kind of.
they're here, they're present, they're
Why
in
is
the
PR
world.
for?
Huh? Because PR matters. Like that's how you see the world, right? Like, and they read the news. That's not social media. Yeah.
So they will focus more on news than on social media.
No, it depends. It's both, but it's everything. But what I'm saying is that, like that conversation, like what Gary said, I think is true. It's let's talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you to know everything. And if you don't know, then let's talk about it. Oh, Simon, what does he do? Like, why? You know, how come he's not as
see.
yours?
Yes.
All these questions.
Interesting. Like I feel like the amount of time they spend in the pub talking.
Yeah,
is
that's
their culture
hours.
comes from hours and hours.
that's something I find
Drinking.
difficult. Is that how do you have so much to talk about? Because I
Exactly.
guess like if you don't know Simon, we would just search it up and be like, okay, that's the end of conversation.
Yeah.
But no, that's not. They would just talk.
Yeah, yeah, and for me, I think that's why I say it's about the conversation makes you become a better speaker and listener.
That's true.
But sometimes you're talking about something
But
from
I
like
personally I just find it very tiring.
yeah, it is.
Right. I
Because
get that as well.
I guess it's just a preference of
A cultural thing, maybe.
I don't know.
But sometimes it's fun because there are certain like unexpected twists and turns to
In
the
my
conversation.
talk-
Like it goes
yeah.
from A to Z to B to
Like I don't
F.
understand why you need to spend an hour talking about who Simon is.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
but also
But there are
understand-
things that come out from that conversation
Yeah,
as well.
and
That's true.
and also I think it's not just about
But it's
of course, it's not about the subject,
Yeah.
about Simon or things, but it's more
Yeah,
of like,
I
It's
know.
the company.
Yeah.
it's the company and also the time where you realize, oh shit, we have talked about this for 3 hours. And then
But
you
it's also
don't...
the stamina you need to build up just to
Well,
keep
when
up
you-
with it. If
I
they
guess that's
talk
why
from-
we're here.
Yeah.
They talk from 6 until 12 a.m. midnight. Wow.
Without eating anything.
Without eating anything and just drinking. You got my respect, British.
I think that's interesting. I mean, surely that's something that we can talk more about it next time.
Yeah.
Should we call this an episode?
Yeah.
But in
First
fact, right, I want to throw one last question before we
I want
close it
to
off.
do this line very long time ago. Please leave a comment.
We're not there yet. Wait.
Yes.
What's your last question?
Quite a general question, but I think this question it could be bringing forward to next week and also from the past week. It's like a question that you can go from past and present. My question is,
Do we have to answer this, or is it a rhetorical question?
a brief one would be fine.
So you want an answer? Okay,
You
go
want
on.
to answer? How are you? I should have asked this at the beginning, but I just thought that how
Yeah,
are you?
we should actually start the conversation with that.
But it's fine lah. This is the first
Then
episode.
we'll end with. Then the title should be How Are You? Oh.
Actually, not bad. How are you?
I'm alright. I'm happy. It's been a good weekend. Really good weather. I'm looking out the window now. It's sunny, blue skies. It's still quite cold, but it's nice. Perfect. Seeing a lot of friends. Seeing a lot of things. Happy to be here. Wake up this morning. Did some pancakes. It's good vibes. How are you, Joey?
Same.
But no.
I want to take the mic and snap.
This is like the situation. Who is Simon? And our competition. Look up. Done.
Copy
Settle.
paste.
Settle. No, I'm quite happy. I'm really excited to
Sorry, go on.
to be here, to actually seeing like both of you and also learning all the new cultures. I'm happy today.
How are you, Gary?
Good. It's been a very fruitful week. Lots of things coming up, and like I said, I think triathlon is something that I wish to focus, and I think we have plans also lah. One day we will cycle to somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
So wait, where is this going? We haven't discussed this. Is this going on YouTube, Spotify?
We
Where is
should.
this going?
We should go to the YouTube. I think that's...
Is this under XYZ or is this a separate thing? Or is that an off-the-record conversation?
Is the off the record conversation?
No, I don't know.
Spotify.
I mean,
quite happy to be candid.
I would be love to put it on podcast. But of course, both of us do podcasts as well. But then it's
Should we just do it on XYZ?
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
So guys, new section of XYZ podcast.
We're gonna think about it lah. Maybe it's a new series or maybe part under Milo Ice or something.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, let us know if you have anything that we can talk about. If you want us to do like an on-site location,
Oh, that'll be so
conversation.
fun though.
We can go to the park.
We
Or...
can go to Bloomberg building and then criticize it.
Okay, we can do that.
Why?
I sense some anger from that side of the room. I'm not sure why.
Great.
But yeah,
It's been a great session.
do you wanna do the plug?
Leave us any comment in the link below. Wait. Let us know if you have any question in the comment section. Thank you.
Like, subscribe.
Like, subscribe, and
DM.
follow, DM, share around, cause you know you want more of this.
Actually, I think... Okay. I think that's the end. Thank you very much.